Thank you. I've never done this before on a stage this small. All right, I'm here to talk about riding faster on one wheel. And I've been unicycling for about 30 years now. I started as a juggler, and unicycling seemed like the obvious next thing. And I started on a unicycle much like this one, with a 20-inch wheel. A wheel like that is really maneuverable, so you can do tricks like those shown behind me. You can give talks. And it's, however, not very, I'm not going off the stage, am I? It's not very fast, because the pedals are connected directly to the wheels, so that one pedal revolution equals one wheel revolution. So a bit of math, oh man, that's hard. Shows you go about 5 feet, thank you, for one pedal revolution. If you pedal at about 80 revolutions per minute, typical casual cyclist speed, you're not even gonna go 5 miles an hour. This is a slow thing, so naturally I decided to try and ride it as quickly as possible. It's basically my version of Olympic race walking. The only way that you're gonna get this unicycle to go fast, however, is to pedal really insanely fast. Lance Armstrong does 110 RPM, I go up to about 160. Trouble is, that still only gets me going 10 miles an hour. Luckily, they came up with some bigger wheels. This is a 36-inch wheel behind me. If I take this one and pedal it at 160 RPM, I start going 17 miles per hour. Now things are getting interesting. Now I don't have to worry about joggers passing me anymore, first of all, and cyclists have to start watching out. A bicycle is definitely more efficient than a unicycle, but on an uphill, much of this advantage goes away. And if I see some weekend warrior on his 27-speed carbon fiber bike heading up a hill, he is a target for me, and I will pass him. It is so awesome. But I still want to go faster. I want to go more than 17 miles per hour, and I don't want to pedal at this insane rate. On a bicycle, the answer is obvious. Just change gears. But the gears that they use for bicycles, derailleurs, 3-speed hubs, they don't work on a unicycle. You need to be able to apply pressure forwards and backwards and have it drive the wheel in both cases. If your gear system starts freewheeling like these ones do, you fall off instantly. So I thought I was never gonna get my dream geared unicycle. But several inventors in Seattle created 3 different designs for geared unicycles, and I have one of each of them. It's so awesome. So the first one is pretty straightforward. It's a single chain, and it lets the pedals be above the wheel on a really big cog. And then there's a small cog down by the wheel. So now, one pedal revolution, and the wheel goes around twice. So I can get this thing going about 16 miles per hour, and I've gone on some decent length rides on it. But the trouble is, that tiny wheel is pretty unstable. It doesn't take much of a rock in the road. You hit the rock, the wheel stops, the rider continues going. Not really a good idea. This one is a bit more practical. It's a dual chain drive. One chain takes the power from the pedals up to a secondary axle, and another chain takes the power from there back down to the wheel. There's 4 cogs, and you can make them any size you want, so you can get any gear ratio you want. You attach this to a 36-inch wheel, and this is the fastest unicycle I've got. The only downside is it takes about 10 minutes to change gears. The third unicycle is a unicycle-specific geared hub. There's a system of planet and sun gears inside the hub, and depending on how it's configured, you either get 1-to-1 or 1.5-to-1 gear ratios. And the really cool thing is you can change gears on the fly. I've got to say, when you're riding along at a slow speed, and the first time you click your heels on the end of the axle, shift into high gear, and take off, it's just magical. So I've got enough geared unicycles now that the main limiting factor on how fast I can go really seriously is preservation. I can ride for hundreds of miles without falling, but a bit of reality is going to catch up, and I don't look forward to the first unplanned dismount at 20+ miles per hour. I've ridden 121 miles in a day. I've gone at top speed of 20.6 miles per hour, and with these geared unicycles, I hope to break both those records. I don't think I'm going to catch up to the world records of 280 miles in a day or 33 miles per hour. If you want more information, tinyurl.com, fast on one wheel, and that takes you to the unicycle section of my blog. You can get more information or contact me. Thank you.